Good day, class. Welcome to Research Writing. We are still here at Unit 4, writing of the Chapter 3 of your proposal, specifically on instrumentation. On with the research design, locale of the study, the sampling design, now we go to research instrumentation. The term research instrument refers to any tool that you may use to collect or obtain data, measure data, and analyze data that is relevant to the subject of your research. Data may be objective or subjective, quantitative or qualitative, and attributes or variables. What is the importance of a research instrument? Specifically, what is the importance of a good research instrument? First, it can collect data appropriate to the research question being asked. A good research instrument is one that has been validated and has proven reliability. It should be one that can collect data in a way that's appropriate to the research question being asked. The keyword here is validity. So in general, a test is valid to the extent that it measures what it claims to measure. So uh, near the bullet. So this one is valid. So this one has, no, this one is only valid. The one that hits the target and it measures what it claims to measure. Second, the research instrument must be able to assist in answering the research aims, objectives, and research questions, as well as prove or disprove the hypothesis of the study. Third, it should not have any bias in the way that data is collected, and it should be clear as to how the research instrument should be used appropriately. So the keyword here is reliability plus objectivity. So we say that a test is reliable to the extent that it measures consistently from one time to another. Reliable test yields comparable scores on repeated administration, and a test may be reliable even though it is not valid. So, uh, for example, this is reliable, but it's not valid. So it should be like this. It's both reliable and valid. And another keyword that we have here is your objectivity. So objectivity is a test should be clear, has a clear score value for each performance, and the score being independent of the personal judgment of the scorer. What is the difference between a research instrument and a research technique? So we've defined this earlier. Research technique is a way of collecting data, and examples for these ones are observation, interview, focus group discussions, and documents review. While for the research instrument, this is a tool to collect the data. So the ones that you use in observing, interviewing, and in doing the focus group discussions. So examples of research instruments are checklists, questionnaires, interview questions, and tests. So this is a summary of the research technique used and the corresponding research instrument used for each technique. So for doing direct observation, we can use either a checklist, rating scale, scorecard, or scaled specimen. In doing an interview, we usually have interview guide questions, and sometimes we add here also a checklist. For surveys, we do use either questionnaires, opinionaire or attitude scale, and non-standard or teacher-made tests and standardized tests. So how do we write the research instrumentation part in chapter 3? So first, present the research technique and tool. So you need to follow the sequence of the statement of the problem or SOP, enumerate the instruments to be used, and indicate the instruments that are researcher made, adopted, or adapted. You need to specify the author, the year, and the reliability coefficient. So in here, you need to articulate how the research tool is established and developed. So for example, here, we have for phase 1, that means for SOP number 1, the survey questionnaire will be developed by the researcher. So that's presenting the research technique and tool. We have here, it's a survey and using a questionnaire. This template is still very useful in writing your research instrumentation part. So we have here the SOP, and you will see here the method of data gathering and the instrument used. A frequently asked question is, when can we say that we adopt or adapt a questionnaire? So adopted here is when the researcher takes the instrument nearly verbatim. And here, the reliability and the validity of the instrument is already established since it is either copyrighted or under copyright. So we usually adopt if we have a similar study or research questions. But even though this is adopted, we still need to pre-test this because you will be using it in a new setting. You might be needing a translation if it doesn't suit the setting or the dialect used in the setting that you will be delivering or administering your instrument. So when you adopt an instrument, you need to tell at this part who developed the instrument and the reliability coefficient. When you adapt, on the other hand, the researcher altered the original instrument, either the researcher rewarded the instrument, added something, or deleted something. So reliability and validity of this instrument must be re-established. And also, this still needs to be pre-tested. And it is also important to write who developed the instrument and also the mode of change, the changes you made, and the reasons why you made the changes. For both adopted and adopted, do I need permission to the original author or to the author of the instrument? Yes, of course. You need to ask permission. You just email the authors and write your affiliation, the purpose of your study, and ask permission in using, adopting, or adapting the tool that they've authored. So after presenting the research technique and tool that your study will be using, you need to describe the tool part by part. So in this example, you will see here, the questionnaire will be composed of a series of questions that will gather the assessment of experts, instructors, and student respondents to the acceptability of the proposed instructional material in terms of objective, content, usefulness, clarity, presentation, evaluation, and language and style. It will make use of structured questionnaire using Likert format, and in this survey type, there will be 5 choices for every question or statement, and the choices represented the degree of agreement and each respondent had on the given question. So this is an example of how you describe the tool part by part. You can also describe it as part 1 consists of demographic questions, part 2 consists of knowledge questions, and the like. Finally, you need to describe measures to address validity, reliability, and authenticity. So in this example here, you will see questionnaires and interview guide questions shall undergo the usual validation and pilot testing procedures. All instruments will be pilot tested to assure the relevance of the questions and that the interview is of acceptable length. To enhance reliability, instruments will be pre-tested in respondents not included but of similar characteristics needed in the study. Furthermore, to improve the validity of the questions, The tools will be checked by at least 2 experts in the field, and the data collection tool will be tested for reliability or for internal consistency using Cronbach's alpha test. So you need to state here if you will do pre-testing or who will be validating your tools. Will you be talking to experts? Will you be consulting your advisors? So you need to state here how you establish the validity, reliability, and authenticity of your tool. So a frequently asked question here is how long should this part be? So in my example, there is actually a phase 2 of this paper. So it has a total of 3 paragraphs. But this part, your research instrumentation, depends on how many instruments you will be using since you will be discussing each instrument that you will be using. In this video, we talked about what a research instrument is, what is the importance of a research instrument, and how do we write the research instrumentation part of chapter 3. 2 more videos that's for your data collection procedure and your data analysis. Thanks for watching.